Bom dia, Portugal!
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.
Good morning, Portugal, and I'd like to welcome you to another fantastic day.
Hey, Gumpers.
Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show, live stream and podcast. How are you on this? Sexta-feira. Putting the sex in sexta-feira today. It's a Good Morning Portugal show. Let us know how you are in the chat this morning. It looks like there's some robust exchanges going on already this morning between the coach and Peter. Talk of cycling and other things which I daren't mention. Hope you're well. Let us know what you're doing this weekend. We have a packed show for you this morning. We've got Colleen Showalter of Portugal The Place joining us at around 8:45 this morning with a project that she'll be sharing with us. We spoke to Clyde, of course, recently, Colleen's husband, Clyde Showalter, who's learning to play the bass. Is that good for your fitness? I guess it'll give you dexterous fingers. Might hurt your back being crouched over that bass guitar, however. We'll be looking at a God Squad tip of the day from Coach Turner, and Siobhan will be with us between 9 and 9:30. And at 9:30, Savikat Anna Karamuja returns with news of her webinar, her upcoming webinar, her moving to Portugal webinar later on this month, and of course, her straight talking about the Portuguese real estate situation and how she and her team help people move to Portugal. I hope you're well. Did you join us for the webinar last night? We were with Philomena, and we had a great time on the Expats Portugal webinar at 7:30 last night. We're with the ACP next week if you want to learn about driving license exchange, and you can quiz them about all manner of things to do with motoring in Portugal. That's the ACP next Thursday at 7:30. Last night, look, as you can see here, Portuguese language and culture with Philomena. It was very good. A few of the basics, and was very well received, and there was a clamour for more, an encore, so we'll be doing that on a regular basis. Seems to be all about learning the lingo at the moment, doesn't it? And of course, as we discovered when we spoke to Vitor and Maria earlier this week, and Philomena underlined it last night, learning about the language and the culture are integral. You can't separate one from another. In fact, learning about the culture gives you a great insight into how the Portuguese people think and speak, of course, as well. I've got to be careful about what I read out clearly from the chat this morning. The coach and Pete in fine mood by the look of it. Bom dia, Gumpers. Feliz sexta a todos. Como estão? From James. And a mindful moment. If you need this, with the upcoming eclipse, best comment I've heard about the eclipse, is it Monday? 6, 7, 8? Yeah. You'll be disappointed if something doesn't happen, and you'll be disappointed if something does happen. So make your own fun. Mindful moment. Mindfulness isn't difficult. We just have to remember to do it. That'll be Sharon Salzberg with that reminder there about mindfulness not being difficult. It's just a matter of, it's the same as learning the language, isn't it? Making the time. Mindful dad joke then. My friend got a tattoo on his arm that says, this isn't the one that says Ludo and Landudno. No, that was a different part of the body. My friend got a tattoo on his arm that says comparison is the thief of joy. And I'm really considering getting the same tattoo on my arm, but a little bigger. Very good. Thank you, James, for that. And I started, Pete's still, he's been writing a few of these down, I think, squirreling these away for us. And here they are, Pete's dad jokes, Central Portugal dad jokes for you. I started a new business. I'm selling more dungarees than ever, but overall sales are down. Woo! Nice one, Pete.
Hooah!
Nice way to start a Friday and a weekend. Yeah, what are you up to this weekend? Do let me know. I'm looking forward to this event at the weekend. More about that, the great opening. Who doesn't like a great opening, of course? Cash only, they're clear to point out there. I think there's a cash machine next door to the new Prohibition Bar. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, then. It's a bit of a cocktail party tonight. There's a bit of dining tomorrow from midday and from 1 o'clock on Sunday. Great music and a barbecue. It's the Communities Unite opening on Sunday at the long-awaited opening of the Prohibition Bar. A few more events coming up for you from Andy a little bit later on in the show, to some weekend previews. And there's an event that was popped in by Sarah Yerman for us. Because normally when Andy's posting, of course, he's posting in his local area, the Bairrada region of Portugal. And we've got a few from there for this weekend. But look at this. Sarah's been on the Gumper map, and the Marginal will be closed to cars. And I can't have to go to the Gumper map to click on that. But that's going to be amazing, isn't it? The Marginal between Lisbon and Cascais, or a little bit of it anyway, between 9 this morning. That's going to cause chaos, isn't it? Although not so much traffic on the roads, presumably with the kids being off from school for the Easter holidays. But part of the Marginal closed between Lisbon and Cascais, and that's between 9 and 1 for a little bit of perambulatory, maybe cycling action as well. That's going to be lovely. I'm looking forward to seeing some photos from there. And if you go to the Gumper map, you can click on that link and find out exactly what's going on over there in Eiras, that part of Lisbon, or between Lisbon and Cascais there. Very good. Is this one savoury enough to read out? Thank you very much for this, Peter. Thank you for these, Pete. T-Duck's vacuum, his dad joke vacuum, being well and truly filled this morning. Who doesn't like? Let me just pop myself down in the screen a little bit. Is that going to work? No, that's going the wrong way. Hold on. I'm just going to manually adjust my camera. Feeling a little bit low on the screen. There you go. That's better. Well, for me anyway. Just had to give up my part-time job at the returns department of Ann Summers. The people there just kept giving me bad vibes. Thank you, Peter. Right, let's get back in the chat then, shall we? Bom dia, Portugal from João do Norte this morning. I've got myself a vegetable patch. They just keep coming thick and fast, don't they? I've got myself a vegetable patch. It really works. And now I have completely given up vegetables. Yes. Thank you very much, Pete. And talking of, you need to get some help from Jason Hall, obviously. I saw this on social media yesterday on Facebook. Some of our beautiful veg boxes ready for collection, Quinta Esencial. Of course, we talk to Jason every month. And what a lovely selection. I'm just trying to get rid of, no offense, Pete, just want to take your comment off there for the moment. Look at that. Wouldn't it be lovely to receive one of those veg boxes from Quinta Esencial from Jason there? Great work, Jason. Keep it up. We'll see you soon when we talk to the Quinta crew again soon. Right, and I think I'm going to play a little bit of video now for you in anticipation of Colleen joining us. 2 videos this morning from Andy. Here's the first. He was out on I think he went on a 50-kilometer cycle ride, the Crazy Fall, just recently. Here's the first report from his cycle ride.
There's Aria, the lagoon of Abril. There we are. Tide's up. Look at that place is a pick-a-pow. Pick-a-pow means woodpecker, like woodpecker, but it's also like little bits and pieces that you eat. But they're apparently they do fantastic eels there. Right, and that's Lagoda Beach ahead. Ciao bellas.
Cheers, Andy. Always lovely to hear the words pick-a-pow there. Very good. Thank you for that. Another one of those cycle videos to come. Obviously enjoying getting out and about on 2 wheels there. Great to see that. Thank you very much. God's God tip of the day. I think we're staying with cycling. It's as though we planned this. Oh, no, hold on a minute. I've got a message from Anna here, a Swede in Portugal. Bom dia, alegria a todos. And thank you very much You're in about early this morning, weren't you? Out and about early, doing a bit of a power walk, it would appear. How early exactly did you go out to do this? It's still dark. The clocks going forward would have helped with this, wouldn't they? But here's your lovely picture this morning. The lighthouse. Where exactly is that? Is that VRSA? Thank you so much. This morning's power walk, the lighthouse in VRSA there. It looks pretty early to me. And how far did you go, Anna? Good effort. Fantastic. The coach would be proud of you there. Talking of whom, let's see what the coach has got for us this morning. But not until we've heard another dad joke from Pete. My favorite TV program is The Walking Dead, or is more commonly known Songs of Praise. That's really unkind, Pete. And is that still on the telly even? I wonder. Coach Turner, Bon dia Gumpers, woohoo! We've reached Friday as Mrs. T is doing her charity work today. I'm going to be trying out a new bit of GoPro kit. The audio wasn't great at my last attempt, so fingers crossed. Okay, get nice and close to that mic, or record the audio separately, Coach. Rode do a really nice little mic, lapel mic, that I'm seeing more and more in people's podcasts. A little furry fella that sits on your lapel. And I'm sure you can connect that to your GoPro, or just record the audio track separately and put them together later on. One sport I haven't mentioned this week is cycling. Look at that. It is as if we planned it. Andy out on his bike, and here we are talking about it. It can be fantastic for aerobic fitness and leg strength, but it doesn't work the rest of the body. So it would need to be part of a mix. Thank you. Having looked at a wide variety of sports, then few provide all that we need to stay strong. Stay strong, everyone, and healthy. But when mixed with other exercises, will make a big difference. Variety is the spice of life, isn't it? Mixing it up. And I'm not going to read your comments about Lance Armstrong, Solar Pete. But perhaps the greatest thing about them, as mentioned briefly yesterday, is the opportunity they present to meet other people. Sports have provided most of my oldest friends. How about you? That's interesting. Jackie, good to see you. I'm sorry I misunderstood some of your questions or anticipated them incorrectly on YouTube on the Dream Team session last night, which was also very good, I have to say. Bon dia all from Jackie. Still plotting a careful course through the chat this morning. Apologies for my tardiness, says Joao Denort. Truthfully, I was distracted finishing a cat video. Keep up the good work. And from Pam, a bon dia, as well as this lovely photograph from near Sintra that she thought we might like. This from the credit to Joao Carlos Costa, as três caras, the three faces there. Look at this. And between the beaches of Aguda and Azenas do Mar in Sintra, you can see here how there appears to be the illusion of three faces in the rocks, like the Portugal's own Mount Rushmore. Au naturel, though, I think here, just how the shadows are cast and the reflections in the sea there. Really thoughtful. Thank you. The photo is by Luis Rodriguez. So I guess full credit there to Luis Rodriguez, posted by Joao Carlos Costa and shared with us by Pam. Good morning to you, Pam. Absolutely lovely. You might go looking for that in the Sintra area and capture your own photograph of those three faces. As três caras there, a bit of Portuguese vocabulary for you this morning as well. Okay, let's just go to the chat for a couple more comments, and then we'll talk to Colleen King Showalter of Portugal, the Place, in just a moment. Jay Clark is with us. Bob Wenger, also fantastic. Let's stay with Pam for just a moment. Talking of learning the culture, I recommend looking out for events put on by your local municipio or freguesia. They can be great ways to learn about your local area and meet interesting people. Yeah, and as we discovered from Philomena last night, many Portuguese people are very proud of their culture and love to share it and talk about it. And that's exactly what Pam's talking about there. Bob's in. Bon dia todos, back home. Oh, wow, you're back in Portugal. About time too, actually, Bob. Back home and listening live for a few minutes. Great to hear that you got back safely. And finally, for the moment, in the chat, bon dia from Peníscola. That is the right way to pronounce it. Peníscola, Castellón. Hoping to relocate to Santa Cruz, Tenerife in June if I get a summer teaching job there. Jay, okay. Interesting to hear about your plans there. Good job. You're not British. I don't think the British are that welcome, or a certain strand of British culture and community not being looked forward to in Tenerife, I saw on the news just recently. We'll come back to your comments, James, by Randy, Pam, and Jackie. Oh, I've got to read that out. Jackie thanking me for last night. It's always good to hear that. And let's give her a nice big round of applause because Colleen is joining us now. Hola, bon dia.
Good morning, bon dia.
How are you, tudo bem?
I am great. I have sunshine on a Friday morning. Cannot complain.
Sunshine on a Friday morning. Very good. It does make a difference, doesn't it? And I was going to put up the Portuguese weather forecast, which seemed quite fitting. It's winter weather, isn't it? A little bit like that when you get up and go to bed at the moment on the left. And I understand this weekend it could reach as high as 27 in
But
Portugal.
also be weird and rainy and Sahara dust and wind and like pick something and it will happen, I think, this weekend.
Yes, a full house of weather. So yes, you're right. Take a brolly, take layers, but be ready to strip down to a string vest.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not complaining though. I love the sunshine and the blue sky right now, so I'll take it.
About time too, isn't it? Really? Yes. Oh no, nearly. I thought it was looking good. It was a minute ago, out of my window here. So
mine is still okay.
Enjoy it while it lasts. Do you want to come back? In fact, you could come back in a few minutes and make sure you just make the most of that sunshine.
I'm okay. I'll hang in there.
All right. So what's going on then, Colleen? I think you've got a webinar this weekend ahead of an important event, the likes of which I've not heard of before. Women to Portugal. What's going on?
Yes. So we put together for the last couple of years, we've really been focusing on this opportunity. And we're so excited because it's coming up December 2nd to the 9th in Lisbon. And what it is it is an all-encompassing event that includes location scouting, all of the professionals in one place that you need that are vetted, that can answer all your questions. So you can come to Portugal, dive in and really start learning everything you need to know about moving, from real estate to locations, healthcare, everything, and also build community. And the reason we're doing Women to Portugal is because about 80% of our clients are women. And when I say that, it's either solo women making the decisions for the families, the couples, but women are the ones driving the moving to Portugal. And it's exciting and they are so ready to make it happen. So we wanted to not only provide all the nuts and bolts and things you need, but we wanted to connect and build community and get them with folks that already have done what they want to do and also have them meet others on the same path. So it's coming up, and tomorrow we're doing an Ask Your Question session. So
that's amazing. That's amazing. So the actual event is in September, did you say?
In December 2nd.
Okay.
9th, yes.
2nd to the 9th of December. And Lisbon, Portugal will be lovely, won't it, ahead of Christmas? A lovely time to visit the country.
Yes. It's going to be really beautiful. I personally love the holidays. We visited Portugal for the first time during Christmas. So for us, the lights and all of the festivities in Lisbon have just a special place in our heart. And we're doing a 5-star hotel. We're going to be right in the Chiado, so everyone can walk to everything on their free time. And we're hosting location scouting too. So we'll be doing small vans with small groups of women in individual vans going out into the neighborhoods, coming up to the Silver Coast. It's going to be a great time, and it's set up so that people can get all the information in one place so that then from there they can get their decisions going and decide when they want to move to Portugal.
That is a great service, a great offer. And I am very surprised to hear that 80% of your clientele are women, either coming solo or, as you say, making the decision for the household. Why do you think that is?
Well, I'm a woman, and I think it's because we're very organized. And when we want to do something, we're like, let's get on it and let's do it. And I think we drive a lot of the decision making when it comes to organizing and everything in our lives. And I just saw someone that said Oregon to Portugal. I'm an Oregonian from Portugal.
Oh, there you go.
Hello, Oregon, loving Portugal.
Yeah, that's Linda. That's Linda right there. Yeah, I can't deny that. If you want something done, I guess ask a busy person, especially a busy woman, and it'll get done, won't it? That's incredible. And what are their strategies? Will you on this stay in Portugal also be sharing strategies about how to share the news of the move with the partner? Because that's the thing, isn't it, Colleen? You know, it's not always the case that both people want to move. So, you know, some couples definitely, you know, one might be easygoing, both might be really keen to move to Portugal, and sometimes there might be a little bit of reluctance with the other partner. Do you encounter that, and what do you suggest to do in that situation?
Well, that's part of what we do at Portugal the Place. When we're working with folks, we are really in the space with their mind, because if you're not ready for the move, you're going to get some things that are going to trip you up. And a lot of time you have one person driving it a lot stronger than the other.
Yep.
So it's really diving into both people's views. What are their challenges? What are their concerns? And working them through that and helping them understand that if they're not ready, that's okay too. Like, there's no pressure. You don't want to do a move like this till you are ready to jump in. Same with children. We get the women that are moving young families, and you've got a 12-year-old with friends at home, and they're in middle school, and they've got all that stuff to consider. So we're oftentimes creating custom itineraries, helping them find their home, getting their home purchase or their rental, all of those things around not just the location or if it has 3 bedrooms, but also around, does it work for the family? Is it part of their long-term life plan in Portugal? Because it's so important. But the women that we work with, they come to us a lot of times saying, I've got to do all these things back in my country. And then how do I do it all over here? And they're all over the place. And our job is to really help them focus and then have space, headspace to deal with what they're dealing with back in the other side of the world. And that's why this tour, we wanted to make it's 7 days. It's tight. It has everything packed in. They can do everything in once. And so for a busy working person, someone with a family, it's really designed to just get them what they need in a very intense, intentional experience. So we're so excited. I've been planning, I come from a tourism and hospitality event background.
Yeah.
This is something I did for years in different capacities. And for 2.5 years, I've been wanting to offer this event. And now we're here. And I'm just like, I'm so ready to go.
You must be in your element on, it's like showtime, I suppose, isn't it? Here
It
they
is.
come and you'll be looking after people.
It feels like a huge, full circle, because it's coming right back to what I've always loved to do. And it's the last time I thought about launching this happened to be the same week that the Ukraine war kicked off.
Oh, right. Okay.
And so we pulled it back because things kind of just felt a little squishy. So now I feel like it's a great time for people to come over and see what it really is like, truly, and speak to real people doing what they want to do, and learn and find out if Portugal's for them.
Do you know, I love what you said there about, dealing with any of the reservations in the family, because you might have a number of minds to meet, as it were, and you're not avoiding it, are you? And if anyone's got any reservations or challenges or difficulties or thoughts, really, that, might not be in harmony with the move, it sounds like you just address them, because that's got to be the best way. So you can't ignore it, can you?
No, if you try to sweep it under the rug or discount somebody's feelings, it's just going to bubble up at a very inopportune time. And usually at that point, it'll be when it's too late or something is already in play. So do it early, get those things out of the way, and make sure you're listening and looking for the nonverbal responses as well.
Oh, very good. Okay, so you and your team are trained for that too.
Yes. So it's all about the human condition. We're all people with insecurities and anxieties. And so it's trying to make sure that we're connecting with them. And when we're helping them, we're not real estate agents. So for example, if they don't like a house, it's like one person's going, I love this house. And then you watch the other person kind of like, oh, I don't know.
You see them moving back.
They're moving back. You're like, okay, let's take a break, time out. What's going on here? And then usually you can find out what's happening, and you want to get that out there. So
right. I think Sarah liking the sound of what you're saying. Well, either it's a comment on how well spoken you are and your enunciation, or that what you just said was very well spoken and some very good points made. Probably both. In fact, there. Do you know one of the worst efforts I saw? This is probably typically male, if I may say so. I'm trying to persuade my wife to move to Portugal, I think this chap said, and it was a chair covered with Portugal books and phrase books just left there. Guess where we're going? It sounds like you don't approve of that particular approach.
No, and the word persuade just makes my heart kind of flutter, because I really worry about anyone that feels like they have to be convinced, persuaded, those words, because I think it has to be, you have to have the desire to make this kind of change. And it's not just Portugal, anywhere, right? If you want to pick up your whole life and move to Costa Rica or whatever, you have to want to do it.
Yep.
You
Awesome.
got to get both feet, jump off the diving board, and do a whole cannonball. You can't keep one foot on the side.
Oh, cannonball! That's a whole lot better. Pressing it that way, cannonballing into the pool of Portugal. Lovely. Oregonians loving Portugal. Linda wants to know where you're from in Oregon.
Well, I was raised in Newport on the coast, and but I was born in Portland, and my last life in Oregon before I moved to Portugal was in Portland, Westland to be specific. If you're from Oregon, you know how you're from a city, and if you're not from there, you just say the big one. But if you're from that area, you can narrow down to the neighborhoods. So
I think Linda will know. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Also sounds like marriage guidance. I don't suppose you stretch to that cannonballing into the pool advice for marriage.
I have been in so many situations where I've had a spouse on a park bench who's been crying or upset or
Really?
like trying to break through. And sometimes it's positive tears, like all of a sudden they've had the breakthrough. Sometimes I've had someone going, this place looks like crap. I can't believe she's made me come here. Like it's everything and all over the place. But what they normally want to do is have a safe place to share their feelings. But yes, it does feel at times, there has been times when I've been on calls and language has gone a certain way where I just kind of sit back and go, why don't you all take a moment?
Yes, I'm here when you need me.
Exactly. I'll be getting some water and I'll be right back.
Excellent. Larry's sharing the weekend plans. I'm happy to hear of your weekend plans in the chat, everyone. Donna Branca, pizza yesterday. That's a great. Have you been to that one? It's great.
I have not. This is the downside of what I do is I end up doing what I do so much that I don't get to go do all the things I tell people to go do.
I tell you what, how about we put this on an itinerary? Take other people there. Thoroughly recommend it. This is in Caldas here, Donna Branca, sourdough pizzas. And they're the same people who have the bar at the other end of the garden here.
Oh, okay. I love that.
Yeah. Dulce saying here, a few nights ago at Residencia Bercow, this is the incredible environment that is the Bercow bar. We made a little bit of a video about it, but you can have a drink here.
Yes.
And it was the rooms where the last king of Portugal used to party. Although that might not be the recommendation because he came to a bit of a sticky end.
I was going to say, didn't he come to a bit of a challenging end? So.
Yeah, but not there, not in this building. You're okay, but you could be on this same balcony. And I think that's a horrible stuff happened in Lisbon, not in lovely Caldas de Rainha, as you're seeing. So 2nd to the 9th of December, lovely festive time to be in Portugal. It's all women, obviously. It's women to Portugal, and it will be a women-only event.
All women from any background, any setup. And then I shared with you the link for the tour. So people can go to our website at portugaltheplace.com and the link is on our website. We also have an early bird discount. So if you or you know somebody that's interested in coming to Portugal, if they book before April 15th, they get €150 discount off of the event. So really encourage you, if this is something you're considering, to take a look at it before April 15th. And we're excited. Yeah, December 2nd to the 9th, we are going to really just build some great experiences and hopefully get that information to people that they need. Whoop, Erica, wait, what?
Yes, 2nd to 9th of December. And also, but you're doing a webinar tomorrow. So anyone who's interested and wants to find out a bit more, they can have a bit of a deeper dive, as people say, tomorrow evening, can they?
Yes, the webinar link is on our website on the Women to Portugal page, right in the center. You can go on. We use this. We're going to go Facebook Live as well. So it's Portugal the Place. .com, Women to Portugal, and you can go to our Facebook page tomorrow. We'll be live. We're doing it late in the evening tomorrow so that folks in the States can pick it up, and we're going to run it. We'll record it and keep it running on our channels as well. So if you can't make it, you can go back and listen to it as it's recorded.
Fantastic. Always great fun talking to you. Anything else coming up at Portugal the Place that we need to know about?
Well, just the fact that if you're thinking about scouting through Portugal and wanting to get going, this is the time for every single person that says, I'm not moving until the fall. If you're not moving till the fall, you should be doing your planning and getting going now, because 6 months from now is not that far. So I have a lot of people calling going, oh, I'm not moving till June. And I'm like,
we need to talk.
You need to do it now. So if you're on the fence thinking about it and you're ready to go and you know when you want to live in Portugal, this is the time to be planning and getting going.
It was great to see some of the PTP gang at our networking do
Yeah.
at the Storytellers as well. I think they had a nice time. I'm sorry we didn't get to see you as well, but did they have a good time?
They did have a great time. I heard you guys just went right through the power outage. You guys just kept having drinks and enjoying conversations.
What else were we meant to do? Nobody should panic in these circumstances. So we didn't.
They had a great time. They had a great time. So I guess I get to see you again soon, in a couple weeks, right?
I think so. I think we'll see you on the screen soon, and hope to see you around the Silver Coast area in wonderful Alcobaça or close by. If you're bringing people through San Martino de Porto, you must stop and have a coffee with us as well, Colleen. So have a great weekend, Bon Fils Semana. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Check out. See you soon. Bye. She goes. Colleen King Showalter. Don't forget the webinar tonight. More about the webinar tomorrow night that tells you more about the Women to Portugal event that's happening in December there. Erica, you can find out more tomorrow evening, or go straight to that link that is on the screen right now. Oh, look at this. Pam knows how to party. My weekend plans include preparing the figures for my IRS declaration. Remember that you can choose an association to receive 0.5% of your IRS as well. Very good. That's good to know, isn't it? I didn't know that. So that's excellent. I'm going to do a quick screenshot myself of that so that we can share that sort of excellent information with others. Thank you, Pam, for that. Very thoughtful. And I think we've got the cat video that John was making. It's Catface watching. Catface was a bit self-absorbed last evening. Oh, I see. Watching himself on the telly there. Thank you very much. Oh, and a video that I overlooked previously. John, is it okay to... Oh, you've quoted Loggins and Messina here. This is great. We've got some extra images that I'm sorry I overlooked in the hurly-burly here. We have got Fluffernutter watching Good Morning Portugal. We've got John in his happy meditation place. And John, can I play publicly the lovely river video that you sent me as well? It's about a minute long. Give me a shout on this one. I'm just going to send you a message back, say this okay, all right? So let me know if you will, because I'd love to share that. And we've got some lovely cat pictures as well, which I'll bring to the screen. Cat lovers, do you remember Pussy Pics, Pups and Pussies here on the Good Morning Portugal show? There's Catface watching themselves there that's how do you set that effect up at home there? If anybody needs a boost and wants to see themselves on the screen, that's the way to do it. I'm not exactly how that sure that's achieved. Maybe throwing the casting. It looks like the phone picture there cast up onto the screen there, which must have blown the cat's mind, I think. Yes, says Antonio F. As well on this matter of donating some of your tax to an association or charity. Don't forget to assign those 0.5% to an institution. There are plenty of them. The latest one I included in my RS is Doutores Palhaços of Operação Nariz Vermelho, Operation Red Nose. What's that about then? Do tell us more about Operation Red Nose. That just sounds like a drinkers a club of some sort, doesn't it? Or reindeer as well. I feel duty bound to always choose ReFood to receive it, who of course Pam is associated with, but there are lots of organizations who do good work. Excellent stuff. We will be taking a look at events coming up this weekend. I'm not sure I've covered all your comments. Let me just check on that. We've got Siobhan joining us, and of course Savika Anna at around 9:30 this morning. Also talking about an upcoming webinar. The interest in Portugal remains strong, and we've got some of the best people in the business ready to help you do that according to your budget, your tastes, and the cut of jibs that you may prefer as well. We're connecting you to many great people who help people move to Portugal. Choose the ones that are most attractive to you and find them on our website and at our Portugal Club as well. GMPVIP.com. Let's go back to that chat then and see what's going on over there. I'm not sure if I covered. Thank you I didn't finish your message there, Larry. So it was Donna Branca yesterday. Got distracted, didn't I, with that? Beach walk today, music at Baia Cultural, and that is a great place to go, of course. Who was it who was telling me off? Oh, Guido. He was angry with me because I hadn't told him about Baía Cultural, what a great place it was. We've known each other for ages, and I hadn't mentioned that to him. Maybe I did and he forgot. But yes, definitely if you're coming to San Martinho de Porto, you must go to Baía Cultural, one of the very first places we went to, and experience the kindness of Portuguese people about 7 years ago. Then perhaps celebrate Prohibition in Óbidos tomorrow. Excellent. Definitely not Scottsdale, Arizona anymore. Wow, look at that. You've changed, man. And thank you for your offer, your professional offer, to do a bit of networking based on your professional background there, Larry. Others want to do the same and give back when they come to Portugal. And I was thinking about your offer there to share, maybe a little bit of insight about what you did. It might be with young people in a school situation. It might be with professionals here in Portugal who might like to hear about what you do and what you did as well in your previous career. Do we need our own area of LinkedIn for that, or maybe a little bit of a section on the Portugal Club? We'll have to have a think about that. I think, going back to why it might be best to leave it to the women to organise the move to Portugal. Pam thinks men go with the flow more. I think it's a Spanish phrase. Only dead fish go with the flow. But yes, I guess, you can always find a good side and a bad side to any bon mot. Or anything really, right? If anything, at the moment, we are finding out the good and the bad of every possible thing that's discussed to minute detail and often in quite an angry way on social media. Thanks, Pete, for taking over the filling of T-Duc's vacuum. That job for me was sucking big time. Very good. And good luck, Jay, with your possible move to Tenerife. Sounds like a nice place to be. A possible teaching job there. I learned about the chalets, palacettes that you can see in Alcobaça. Well, thank you very much for that, learning about the culture there. And Bairandi is in officially. Bon dia Malta from Bairandi with a little cycling emoji there. Looks like you enjoyed that, mate. And seems to be a bit of a theme this morning. Speaking of cycling, don't forget that the Vuelta de España is coming to Portugal this year. That's the Volta, I guess, isn't it? Vuelta, Volta, Tour de France. These are the big cycle races of the European countries coming in August. Thank you for that. Heads up on that. Fab session, says Jackie. Last night, Carl, thanks for the info. My pleasure. The ACP one, I think, next Thursday will be a good one. Antonio F. Big Tony is in. Bon dia todos. And look, there's some good language exchange going on here. Pam responding to James here. Look at this. Take a moment to look at this. Como estás? Hoje estou ótima. Obrigada. I'm optimal. I'm very well, thank you. Muito bem. Should we have one of those? Been a while, isn't it? And I neglected to play this last night. Where's she gone? Here she is.
Muito bem.
Muito bem. Thank you very much, Philomena. Great job last night. And you'll be able to see that video from 6 o'clock on the Expats Portugal YouTube channel as well. Big Tony, Pete's hoping you have a wonderful weekend planned. Hanging out with relatives. We talked about this last night, of course, talking of Portuguese language and culture. Very important celebration of the family here in this culture. Okay, good morning to you, Sarah. Good to see you here this morning. And yes, it did sound like marriage guidance advice, isn't it? The what is it? Cannonball into the waters of Portugal there. Oh, sorry. OLP. I didn't manage to share that with Colleen while she was here. To Pete from Antonio, it was the opposite. I was in northeast Portugal enjoying a few days rest and a bit of snow. I think that was last weekend, wasn't it? And yeah, too much snow to get to the ski resort in Estrela. That's the great irony of snow in Portugal. To go see the snow in Portugal is quite difficult because the snow cuts off the resort where you can see the snow, if you get what I mean. Certainly, Carl. Okay, wonderful. Let's have a quiet, mindful moment then. We'll stick with João de Nor and this lovely video of John's contemplative place by the river. Let me just see. Oh, yes, because I've got a few watery videos here. Andy's and now Joao's. Okay, so here it is. Let's have a moment, shall we? A quiet reflection by the water up there in the north of Portugal in Ponte Lima. Thank you very much, John. Much appreciated. Here we go. John enjoying a moment by the river there, and here it is as a still. John's happy place by the water there, and the music you could hear, that's the Loggins and Messina reference, isn't it? Which reminds me of those fantastic yacht rock videos with Hollywood Steve. Do watch them if you haven't seen them. They are hilarious. Watching the river run further and further from the things that we've done, leaving them one by one. Oh, bit of a cleanse going on there. My meditation place, says John. Thank you for that video. Excellent. Loggins and Messina. Superb stuff. Okay, let's go back to the comments, to the chat. What are you up to this weekend? Do let us know. And if you've got a Bon Dia Portugal, do send it to us on 913-590-303. I think we've got 4 now, and we'll be adding to those as we receive them. So I think we're also finding out about Operation Red Nose here as well. What's this? Pete to James, just a quick ethical question for you. Is it okay that I start drinking as soon as the kids are at school, or does that make me a bad teacher? I think you know the answer to that, Peter, and you're just you're buying time or trying to make James responsible for your ethics there. It is always important to stay well hydrated. So yes, do drink plenty of water. I'm not sure why you think this is an ethical concern. Thanks, Joao, as well for that moment from Linda OLP. What's this then? The Operation Red Nose, Nariz Vermelho. Operation Nariz Vermelho is an institution that sends clown doctors, like the movie. What was that movie with Robin Williams in? Patch Adams, wasn't it? Okay, to visit children in hospitals. That's a lovely idea. Thank you very much for bringing that. I couldn't quite understand what that might be about, but no, it all makes sense. Red noses, clowns. Some people's idea of absolute terror, right? But I'm sure the kids love it when the clown doctors turn up and cheer them up. Okay, we are waiting for the arrival of Siobhan She of CO Print, who make our mugs. Actually, I'll do a little bit of an unboxing for you. We've got fresh stock just in. Let's have a look. Here they arrive in these nice little boxes, and we were sharing out the merch at the meetup on Wednesday. Here's one hot off the press. And we'll talk to Siobhan about our new t-shirt idea. I don't know what a t-shirt is. Tea towels might be quite nice as well, mightn't they? In the land of the cockerel tea towel, Portugal, there's the mug to go with it. Love Portugal right there. Excellent. Thank you very much. And the classic, who doesn't like first thing in the morning, right here as well, coming out of the box. There you go. Good morning, Portugal on the one side, and who doesn't like on the other side there. Thank you very much, Siobhan. Hoping to see you soon on the screen to find out what's going on and coming up at our Quinta. Let us know what's happening for you and your weekend. If you like, in the chat here, it's like Red Nose Day. Okay, the Doutor Palhaço, it's like Red Nose Day comic relief in the UK. Okay, Clown Doctor says, I don't know. I thought so. For some people, it's going to be like this. Clown doctors visiting me in hospital sounds like a nightmare. Clowns are so scary. Why is that? Is it a way of emptying the wards to get more beds? Depends on the quality of the clown, of course, doesn't it? And loving the merch, says the OLP. Don't give the Ministry of Health bad ideas to empty beds like that, from Antonio F. Okay, let's go for Andy's second cycling video, and we'll have a look at some of his highlights from the Bajada soon as well. Here's a little bit more of a wander when Andy was out and about on his bike earlier this week.
Hola, bon dia. In the lovely Bajada, the beach just down from Bagos. Went fishing off of there once. Boardwalk, it's a relatively new boardwalk. These people were gutted in these apartments when it was built, obviously, according to their beautiful Boas vistas, their beautiful views. They were going really cheap. You could get one for under 100,000, I think it's about 50 something thousand. But that was then. Not now. A German bar there. I don't know if it still is the German bar. But they used to do burgers and great beers. There's a cafe right down that end, Sierra or something like that. More of a bohemian one up that end of the boardwalk. All very laid back hammocks and smelly candles. Very nice. Smell that fresh sea air. Love it when the waves are pounding. Smell it in the air. Fill your lungs. Fabulous. Right. That's it. Ciao bellish.
Thanks, Andy. I think we'll have a preview of some of the things going on this weekend as we await the arrival of Siobhan. Message just in, a new name, I think, GMM, backpacking by Interrail to Portugal in 1993. Dirt cheap. We don't like that phrase, dirt cheap. Good value, I think we prefer there, GMM. And so good, Swordfish. Isn't it amazing how those sort of memories stay in the mind's tongue, as it were? First real restaurant food we ate in weeks as poor backpackers. Yeah, I guess when you're on a budget and you have the occasional blowout like that, stays in the memory. Where was it exactly, GMM? Where were you? Give us a few more memories, if you will. And thank you for joining us this morning. Let's have a look at a few of Andy's highlights coming up this weekend then. Good to see you, GMM. And where else did you backpack as well? Do let us know what your tour looked like back in 1993. So up to the Bairrada then. These are the things you can find on the Gumper map that are very kindly put on there by Randy, who's with us this morning and whose videos you've seen. Spit roast in Mama Rosa. We are getting ready for the second spit roast event. Are you a fan of pernil? That's a turkey leg, isn't it? Cold beer and good times. No, leg, of course, a leg on the spit roast there. Steady Pete. An evening of fado and bar food, Azenia Bairrada. An evening of Coimbra style fado. There are distinctions, of course, between the Coimbrian and the Lisboeta styles. Also notice the larger guitarra da Coimbra, different than the Lisbon style of the 12-string fado guitar. There you go. There's the distinction right there for you. This is on Sunday of this week. Walk for Life in Aveiro. A t-shirt, a snack and water all included at €5. Isn't that amazing? And a good cause as well. The fair, talking to Michael and Alison at the meetup on Wednesday. I think they might be heading up to hang out with pals in Aveiro this weekend. The event, the big Easter Fair and Expo, continues in Aveiro on the green there by the river. Excellent stuff. Moinhos National Mill. A weekend in Vassarica or Vassarissa in Meliada there, all about the Moinhos, the windmills. A free guided walk on Sunday. I beg your pardon. Yeah, that was the sorry, I've got my days mixed up. 7th, of course, will be Sunday. Okay, I think we're clear now. 7th on Sunday, where you can enjoy a free guided walk in the Aldeia de Pena there. And let's move on to the Caminhada, a spring walk and lunch, of course, starting in Recardais in Águeda. Take part in this 8-kilometer guided communal walk and lunch in the beautiful city of Águeda for just €8 there. Águeda, always worth a visit, lovely city. There is that's not something you can do because that's already been done, but that's one of these wonderful cycling apps, and that is proof of Andy's incredible efforts there. 50 kilometers on his bicycle there with an average speed of 15.79 kilometers per hour. And he got up to 41. Were your legs akimbo and like a kid going down a hill or something like that? There's the car-free morning that we mentioned earlier on, which is actually happening as we speak now. They're about 20 minutes into that on car-free Marginal in Irish between Lisbon and Cascais. Going back up to the Bairrada district, Alfelosh Super Festival, close to the centre of Anadia with its great new park. Oh yes, Anadia's got a new park, hasn't it? A green park with it's not crazy golf, is it? But it's putting golf. I'm not sure of the exact term there, but they've got it's really good, almost Olympic level putting course there. Not quite pitch and putt, not quite crazy golf, something in between. Winery tour then, and lunch in the Bairrada. This is a gentle, or you could gently cycle the wine cellars route. There you go, the Rota das Adegas via bicycle. In each winery, you can enjoy great wines. That's good, isn't it? You can enjoy great wines accompanied by some super snacks. Lunch also included and will be served at the last winery on the route. That's lovely. By bike there, €15. Join us for an adventure of flavour and fun. You're actually doing that one, Andy. That looks really good, cycling the wine route of the Bairrada there. We will get there as a Gumper gathering at some point, I can assure you. And we'll check out the Korea Palace Hotel together. The Bayrada Ultra Mountain Bike Marathon. There's been a lot of cycling mentioned this morning. The Bayrada Ultra Marathon is a new mountain bike format designed for individual participation of teams. It offers participants the possibility to test their physical and psychological limits. This sounds a bit more of a workout, doesn't it? Combining work with a lot of fun and adventure. The new technologies have undoubtedly revolutionized the sport as we know it. So the Bayrada Ultramarathon replaces the traditional and non-ecological plastic tapes. Oh, I see, with GPS. So it's not marked out with plastic along the route. You're going to be using electronic digital GPS for your navigation there. I see what you mean now. Festa do Leitão in Samel Bayrada, which of course the Bayrada district is famous for, the suckling pig. Sunday, this is Google translation. He's distancing himself from this translation, I think. Sunday, the 5th of May, the holiday committee will be hosting a breastfeeding lunch. Ah, I see how they got to that. It just sounds really sad when you put it like that. You have until the 1st of May to register for this €20 great fun roast pig lunch and get together. We've been to a few of these events in Samel. They are great value and really welcoming community of a more mature participant that love to have a good time. Mature participants having a good time. You know that's going to be fun. Luso d'Agua, the Posto Turismo Luso Bosaco. Right, now, I think this is probably a guided tour of Luso, which is near the Bosaco Palace, which is the twin hotel of the Korea Palace. This will be great. So go to the place where the Luso water comes out of the ground and have a guided tour between today and Monday, the 8th of April. Bit of the history of Luso. You've seen it on the water bottles, have you not? Luso, this is where it comes from. This is the source, and you can have a guided tour around there. Thank you very much for those by Randy. Here are the visuals that I forgot to share earlier on when we were sharing James's mindful moments. Buddha, what makes us human? Was this one of yours or was it T-Ducks? Buddha, what makes us human? Selecting all images with traffic lights, sadly, in this day and age. More to come from a Buddhistic angle. You live most of your life inside of your head. Make sure it's a nice place to be. That's pretty powerful, isn't it? And talking of the eclipse, as we were on Monday, Dad, can you explain to me what a solar eclipse is? No, son. Hold on a minute. That's dial up. That is not my rim shot. Where's my rim shot? There you go. Sorry if that brought back unhappy memories of waiting to connect on the internet for you. Thank you very much for all of those, to whomever sent them in. Thank you very much, Andy, of course, for your events that you shared with us. The architecture looks colder too. What are we talking about there? Let's spin back, shall we? And I think GMM's been back in touch as well. What part of Portugal? Good question here. This is like an Ask Anything About Portugal Wednesday question. What part of Portugal is the lovely steak region? I don't know if does Portugal have a steak region? I wonder. It's actually, I think it can be quite difficult getting a decent steak in Portugal. Others may disagree. The Vagia cut of steak, bought some of that earlier on this week, is one of the better ones to have. But there can be some tough old steaks here. The Prego sandwich can sometimes be a bit of a workout for the gnashers. Thank you very much, GMM. That does look grim, as if Stalin had built a resort in Portugal. Where are those commie blocks of flats? What did I show there? Oh, I think that was Andy's cycle tour there. Sorry to have to leave early for first golf of the spring. Not at all, Joel de Nort. Have a good time. Oh! And if anyone can answer that question from the OLP then about the best steak region. Have I missed something there? I wonder. Siobhan is just in Lidl. Okay. Okay, let's see. Does anybody need anything from Lidl? Because Siobhan's in there at the moment. If you want something bought, what's your favourite thing in Lidl? I think for me, I go in there, and this is what happens in Portugal. You have your various supermarkets for different favourite things. I go there for soy sauce. Funnily enough. Okay, so just responding to Siobhan there. Okay, be right back with you with those comments in the chat. Have a good round, if you will, there. Joao de Nort, first golf of the spring. There's lots of, can't help you with the steak, but Pam is telling you there are lots of soup festivals on around here this particular weekend. GMM, backpacking memories in Portugal, was going down the Algarve coast. Most backpackers stayed out over 1 month, travel all over Europe, of course, on the Interrail. No Google, no YouTube, no Translate, maps, and every country had different money and borders. What fun. Portugal, the further north you go, the better the grass is. And of course, in the Estrela, Covilhã have wonderful steaks. So there's a good guide. If you're looking at Portuguese cattle for your steak, excellent. I believe it's Vagueira near Vagos, Ilhavo in Aveiro. Thanks, Antonio, for that. Did sleep on the beach in Albufeira, I remember. Pretty empty then and sand everywhere. Yeah, what's in it for me? Sand. I'm not surprised. He rode 50 kilometers from the Vagos area. It makes Stalingrad look welcoming. All right, easy, Pete. Do you have frisbee golf in Portugal? There is a frisbee event. Not golf necessarily. Is it base frisbee? I can't remember what it was called, but friends of ours, Rose is doing a frisbee event on the beach here in San Martino de Porto. So I think with Americans arriving here, frisbee is taking off. See what I did there? And Agada is such a lovely little city, referring to Agada as we were in the events roundup there. Portuguese have a nice song, a melody in the language. That's a nice observation. Thank you very much indeed, GMM. And Aviva is with us as well. Bon fin de semana. On your request for steak, swordfish steak for sure, and happy memories there from GMM. And I learned a fair bit about the water courses in the region this week. The Romans, what did they do for us? Well, they built some amazing water delivery systems, didn't they? In and around Alcobaça, it would appear. And I think those were unearthed, weren't they, when the Green Park was being made? I learned a fair bit about the water courses in the region this week. Ever wondered how medieval villages, excuse me a minute. I'm back. Ever wondered how medieval villages like Aljubrota came to be established on a ridge with no river? I guess you put yourself up on a ridge for defense, don't you? And then it's the unfortunate job of some in the community to go fetch the water and bring it up to the top of the hill where you can assume your defensive position. Is that how it works? Pete will know the answer to that. Aviva, good to see you here. Bon fin de semana is your message. And it's Greek week. That's why Siobhan might be in Lidl then, enjoying Greek week. What's that going to be? Stuffed vine leaves? Feta cheese, maybe? Ouzo, perhaps? Other happy memories of backpacking. Ouzo in Greece. And by grass, are we talking? No, we're talking about grass. We're talking about what cows eat. And do you know what? I wonder if the cows were given the devil's lettuce as part of their diet, or the old wacky backy, if that would change the quality of the steak. Some in this community, who I will not out, might know the answer to that. A man ran up to me shouting, this is a joke. A man ran up to me shouting, "Big hole in the ground full of water, big hole in the ground full of water." But at least he means well. No, not that. There you go. Or mate, no, you don't get one of these. No, you don't get one of those, Peter. But thank you very much for all your wonderful dad jokes this week. We are waiting for, I think we might have to miss out on seeing Siobhan today of Akinta and of CO Print, she who makes our merch there. Another merch line I'm hoping to get from her soon is the new t-shirt to help people. Sorry about the pixelation on this. But I must send her a higher res version for the t-shirts we're making, because we don't want the same mistake on there. But look, podemos falar português. Can we speak Portuguese? Devagar, por favor, but slowly, if you please. This is the matter of some contention, because I thought this would be perfectly straightforward. You know, we're learning Portuguese, hence the red L. Doesn't mean very much to Portuguese people. So we're still working on this. And would you wear it? De podemos falar português devagar, por favor. Would you wear that t-shirt? And I'm told where we are with that at the moment is that the L plate needs to be a blue L, not a red one as we're used to, some of us in other countries. So would that work, do you think, if it had a blue L on it and you walk into a shop, a bar, with your podemos falar português ? with, of course, the devagar por favor to indicate that it would be helpful to you as a beginner to have the Portuguese correspondent in the conversation talking a little more slowly. Okay, thank you very much for all your comments in the chat. Keep them coming, and pics and videos on 913-590-303. We're going to welcome Savvy Cat Anna to the screen now. Let's give her a nice big round of applause. Hola, bon dia. Good way. Hi, Anna.
Hey, Carl, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm glad that my voice is working properly, because yesterday, out of the blue, I just woke up with my voice working sometimes and not working other times, and I have no idea where it came from. Apparently,
Really?
it was a one-day thing.
Wow, well, that's good to know. Your voice seems to be going a little bit in and out with your connection, not a physical thing, more of a digital thing, but we'll bear with it and see what happens here this morning. Do you think it might have been something to do with the Saharan sand in your larynx?
Yeah. I've been mostly staying at home, so I doubt it. But I'm going to give up on this web.
Oh, okay. Was it something I said? Pete's saying Bon dia Savicat. Oh, no, OLP is saying Bon dia Savicat, and Pete is saying, is the t-shirt that blurry in real life? I think anyone looking at it would feel mildly drunk. No, Pete, I just need a better resolution logo to go on the t-shirt, and smash the like button long and hard. Oh, OLP, what do you like? Let's bring Anna back on. How's that? Is that better now?
Yeah, just change the camera, because this camera is much better, but for some reason it really dislikes this computer.
Maybe it drives the computer a little bit too hard. So great to have you back on the screen, Savvy Cat Anna from Savvy Cat Realty. OLP, glad to see you this morning. What's been going on for you? What's happening in the world of Portuguese real estate?
Yeah, this time it feels like we had a really good big interval. You know, it was like February, almost the first of the day, and now we are having like the 5th of April. So it almost feels like it was 2 months since we spoke.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot happened during last month, and the whole election thing. I know that you shared some things about it too.
Oh yes.
But yeah, I'd love to make my own commentary on that.
Go on, please do. Tell us what you think.
Okay, so what I think, and I did make a video about it too, is that the Portuguese people are quite saturated of the current system. So, as you know, the current system is basically that the people elect the deputies. There are about 248 deputies, and it's according to population density. So locations like Lisbon elect, I think it's 48 deputies. And then you have locations like Bragança that only elect 2 deputies. So what happens is, in a lot of low density territories, it's even common that the location doesn't even elect any deputies, and it's also common that people vote, and those votes end up counting for nothing because they didn't elect a deputy. And about 10% of the votes in Portugal, this happens. So there are 2 things that are happening right now. So the main parties that used to be PS and PSD, and PSD formed a coalition to form the Iniciativa Liberal, so the EL party. It's EL, right? Yeah, I think so. They kind of always were the big ones, and the conversation has always been that they are the 2 only viable parties. Like, you cannot get another party to power. And the system is kind of rigged in that way, and it's very hard for small parties to grow. And it's actually been proposed to change the system, but never approved, because of course it was not in the best interest of the 2 main parties who holds the biggest number of deputies. So what happened this year was revolutionary in a way, because for the first time we had a third party that had weight in the game. And it's not like they had majority or anything close to it. I believe they had like 18%, something like that. They ended up with, I don't know how many deputies, but 30 something, close to 40. No, it was less.
I think it was a bit more than that, wasn't it? Wasn't it 48 by the end of it?
I don't know, because I don't think it was that many. But I
Okay.
know that the PS and PSD, they ended up with 74 or 75 and 77, something like that. So they still had a majority with a very small difference. So the AL, the coalition, won only by 2 deputies. So they, although they have the right to rule, it is by a very, very, very small margin.
Yeah.
So things are not exactly very stable. And you know, the Chega, which is kind of the talk of the moment, they kind of made this huge thing about how they won and etc. etc. And it was in a way historic. Okay, there you go, 40 something, 48.
We've got the actual results on the screen now. Absolutely right on the PSD PS split, with 80 seats to PSD and the AD Alliance, 78 to PS. So yeah, just 2 seats in it, and then 50. It was 48, and then with the final counting, it went up to 50 seats there for Chega. But I think your point stands, doesn't it? That they made quite an impression, but probably not enough to be that influential.
Yes, so a lot of people, and we even received messages from people saying that are no longer considering Portugal because the far right is gaining power. It's
Seriously,
true. Yes,
okay,
they
right.
are gaining power, but they don't have any power to make any relevant changes. So if they want to approve things, they still need to get it through Parliament. And they don't have anywhere close to the majority in Parliament, so they won't be able to approve anything extreme. And the truth is that their program, it actually had a lot of good things from the economic side. Of course, from the cultural and social side, I'm not going to comment. But from the economic side, they did have a lot of positive proposals. And I believe what is happening is that it's just saturation, because most of the Portuguese people feel that the PS and PSD are extremely corrupt, both of them. People no longer trust either of them. And this was just a stand of people saying, like, we don't want you anymore.
Funnily enough, the name Chega means enough, doesn't it? And that's exactly what was being said, right? We've had enough of this, so we're basically going to do a protest vote.
Yeah, and Chega and André Ventura, the leader of Chega, is very good at making noises. So he's always in the mouth of the public, and he's always having controversial opinions. And as you know, there is no such thing as bad publicity. Like, everyone is talking about him. Everyone knows him.
Yes.
And his campaign was very much anti the 2 main parties too. Of course, there's a lot of other things in the middle of that, but I believe that a lot of people voted for Chega because they were just tired of PS and PSD. It's not. I won't say that we don't have far right believers in Portugal. Maybe even 20% of Portugal, but I don't believe it will be for a lot more than that. I don't believe that if they vote for the ideology, I don't believe that the far right would win. I very much believe at this point was just a saturation.
I agree with you, and it's not an unknown pattern around the world, is it? This is happening all over the place and happens historically in cycles. And I think we have to be really so much interesting stuff. I find this fascinating, Anna. So thank you for bringing it to the table this morning, as it were. I completely agree with you that it's a frustration vote, and people have felt thwarted, and it's like it would appear to be their only option. To have an outburst of that kind. And it's a very blunt tool, isn't it, to use your vote to have an outburst every few years. There are probably other ways of changing society that are a little bit more practical and hands-on, and maybe people take more personal responsibility than having an outburst at the ballot box like that. But I do understand it as well. I'm surprised to hear people saying they're not coming to Portugal anymore because of the far right. And I find that really lazy, that
I understand the fear. I mean, there's a lot of people that want to move to Portugal also from a safety perspective.
Yes.
And with a far right having a a firmer stand here, I understand how they might feel threatened.
Mm.
But like I said, I don't think that we have a majority of the population that agrees with those ideologies, because the truth is far right is very much about creating conflict and pointing fingers. So generally the structure, the strategy is very much pointing out everything that's wrong and criticizing things and finding scapegoats, so to say, for the justifying certain problems, but they rarely present viable solutions. So that's something that generally annoys me with the far right parties. Their solutions tend to be, let's exclude everyone. Like, how you should know historically that doesn't work very well. But it's still the case. Like the far right, and the truth is, we have a very real problem right now. That is the housing crisis.
Yes.
The housing costs are not sustainable from an internal Portuguese perspective, and people are unhappy. People are frustrated.
Yeah, I totally
So
understand.
it's very easy to appeal to their anger.
Yes. Yeah. No question about that. Pam saying, 20%. Your estimation there, and I think I'm the reason I'm saying it's lazy. Erica K saying it's not lazy. It's because Ventura reminds Americans of Trump. I get that emotional reaction.
Yeah, and I agree with that.
Yeah, but we're not going to get very far, are we?
Discourse, pretty much.
If all we're going to have in politics is emotional triggering, we're not going to get much housing stock built. We're just going to end up with endless emotional battles endless emotional ideological battles that don't actually amount to anything. And I think that's part of what you're saying here, isn't it? Is despite all the noise and the rhetoric and the frustration, the actual problems that politics is meant to solve are not actually happening, and that's why Portuguese people are frustrated by what's going on.
But I was actually positively surprised that neither of the parties actually went for a coalition with Chega. I'm not fan of neither PS or PSD for the same reason as most Portuguese. But I actually really like the way that the PS leader spoke. He was a very practical, and I'm a very practical person. But although I don't really like the party, but
you were interested in what he was saying, right?
I agree with what he was saying. He wasn't trying to embellish things and making it seem better than what they were. He was just like, okay, this is how things are, and we have to deal with it. I agree.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, the leader from PSD, that is currently no é iniciativa.
With AD?
I can't remember the name. I said it's Iniciativa Liberal, but it's not. It's a different name. It's AD. So
AD, that's right. The Democratic Alliance, not to be confused with the other.
EL is a small party. Yeah. But either way, the leader of PSD, that is currently the leader of AD, he's a top-on politician. He's the kind that makes a very, very long discourses, making it say like everything is okay even when it's not. Yeah. And I was rather worried that he would go for a coalition with Chega, and positively surprised that he didn't, because I actually don't trust that person at all. So
right, okay. We've got Liz F. Hello, good morning. Sorry, but whatever percentage of far right voting is terrifying. What do you mean, Liz F, by far right exactly? They are not about solutions, they just want to stir things up. Yeah, and that's one of the dynamics, isn't it, of politics? When people feel that they're not represented, things tend to go to the margins. Are people equally concerned about far left, I wonder, as well? It's dismissive to say I'm not dismissing anything. I'm talking about it, Erica. That's just my opinion. Women's rights have been diminished under Trump. I don't know about that. I don't live in America, and I don't doubt you for 1 minute. Who do the politicians represent, the people or the corporate unelected types? And perhaps that's what you're referring to with the malaise in the middle of the PSD, PS swamp, I guess. Well, no, that's an emotive word as well, isn't it? No, the two cheeks of the same political backside that we also see in centrist politics all over the world. people get frustrated, don't they, because things aren't happening, and there seems to be corruption in that stale center. And what happens as a reaction to that is you get far right and far left ideologies and suggestions, lots of political rhetoric, stirring, triggering, emotional outbursts, but not much action.
One of the things that gave Shiga this much visibility is exactly because a big part of the problems they point their fingers to, and the persons they point their fingers to, are things that are close to the Portuguese people's heart, and that makes the Portuguese people frustrated in general. So they were able to make that emotional appeal to a lot of people.
Yep.
And yeah, I guess it's work. Is it right? No, I don't believe that a lot of I don't agree with their social politics at all.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't diminish the fact that a lot of the things they point out to are true.
And what we need to remember, one is this is democracy at work, isn't it? You know, it's no good not liking democracy anymore because you don't like the result. What stands out for me with the Portuguese election, and I'm not a big fan of sort of centrist politics and centralized politics. I'm not a fan of those things. But what I can appreciate about what happened, relatively speaking, in Portugal, was that democracy was seen to be done in a better way than many other countries, because the thing we're complaining about, the lack of working together, is a symptom of democracy, isn't it? It's people voting for what they wanted to vote for, which means you get a mix of ideas.
Yes, and people have different ideas and different ideologies, and that's part of being human, I guess.
Exactly. And then with Chega in Parliament, what I think people need to remember, and how perhaps people might calm down about it. And again, I'm not diminishing people's strong feelings about it. That's just happening anyway. But these ideas have to go through Parliament, don't they, in Portugal? It's not like because they've got 50 seats, they've got that they can just have what they want to happen.
Yes, I don't believe that at the moment they would be able to get anything extreme approved at all. No, and that would probably even make them lose popularity. So it wouldn't be a good move for them.
Right.
But I think there's an interesting dynamic happening right now that may be positive. Let's see how it unfolds. Yeah. That is, the two main parties are desperate to get trust again and to get visibility again. They understand they are losing power. So I am curious to see how they respond and if they will be making positive changes. And the coalition, it was made with PSD, and I think it was, I don't know if it was 3 or 4 small parties. Some of them, it's curious because it has like a monarchic party, and then there was like a liberal party, and it was a whole mix. I think most of those parties was kind of at the end of the race and just joined in. So I'm curious also to see how this coalition, if they will also have actual new ideas and new proposals that end up being positive, if because of this mix of small parties that got thrown into there, because they are all over the place. And like I was saying, I did say like the way that the PS approached the subject and how realistic he was.
Yes.
So I'm curious to see how this dynamic will work, because Chega is gaining power, and they may or may not gain more power. And a lot of people are seeing like, how can they be worse than the ones that are there right now? I think that may be a dangerous way of thinking, but it's also true that we've had this system for like way too long enough and has been changing. So I understand how people are just like, we need something to change.
In this year of all years, the 50th anniversary of the Carnation Revolution, what an amazing time in Portugal's political history. Absolutely. So, but having said all of that, Anna, what do you think will actually happen?
So, like I said, it will go one of two ways. Either the AD actually manages to make something positive and regain some confidence and stay in power, or it will crumble because it has too small of a percentage of advantage, and they still need to go through Parliament to get things done.
Yes.
And I don't know how Chega will react, because they kind of feel like sore losers that may just make things harder just for the sake of making things harder. So I'm curious to see how that will go.
Yes.
But either way, either the one of those parties gains trust and makes good policies and improve things, or Chega will continue to grow power, and they continue to show that the other ones aren't working. So the only alternative to this would be if a third party would appear that has different proposals, but I think that's very, very hard to happen.
Right. Okay. And in the meantime, it will just be the slog, won't it, of political life in Portugal, which is consensus politics, right? An uneasy alliance at the moment that will be talking policies through and turning them into law. And what we can be sure of, I suppose, is that there will be a lot of heated debate and discussion about anything that comes before the parliament now. And that's a good thing democratically, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that, like I said, this was kind of a revolutionary result, and it can lead to positive change.
Yeah.
Let's see how things unfold.
Let's see. I'm not entirely positive when I think about my views and experience of politicians, but we shall see. We shall see what's happened, because it certainly is a change. We spent a lot of time talking about Portuguese politics, and I guess we should, because it's quite important, especially when people say to you, we're reconsidering Portugal because of Chega's popularity, for example. What have you said to those people?
Well, we understand we're not going to force them to change their mind. It's their own feelings. They cannot come here if they don't feel comfortable, and I'm not in favor of that at all. So I just put up the video explaining the way I view things, but of course people are free to have their own way of thinking about things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I believe that at the moment we are not anywhere close to having a far-right power or significant power or any drastic policies. But
I can't see that
it's
happening
not sure how things are going to evolve.
Yeah, I just cannot see that happening here. And I would ask, I'm a bit more excited about the proposition of talking to those people, perhaps. Like, no, think again. Like, I can understand your first reaction, but think again. Don't let that put you off, seriously. But anyway, as you say, that's their business, and up to them what they do. Another way you're helping them, of course, is the new webinar that's coming up. You've got a Let's Talk About Moving to Portugal webinar. What's going to be going on in that, Anna?
Yeah, it's very much just making an overview of how the process is for those of you who are considering this and have your concerns. We are going to talk about cost of life, different cities, how the process works, the things you have to worry about, also the political situation. So at the end, we're all just going to take a Q&A and hear everyone's individual questions.
Wonderful.
And try to answer them as to the best of our ability. Of course, we won't be making a personalized consult in the public forum, but we will try to give as much answers as we can, and see how people are reacting. Because, like I said, I've been having receiving contacts about people's worries, and I understand that, and the best way to figure them out is talking about them.
Absolutely. I think that's the answer to everything, isn't it? Is communication and sharing what's on your mind, and seeing what can happen in the power of conversation. So Let's Talk About Moving to Portugal. That's a webinar with the Q&A that Anna mentioned there. Is this one free?
Yes, it's free.
Okay. And it's happening on May the 7th, and the countdown has begun on that. So what else is new at SavvyCat HQ? Any other new areas in Portugal?
I am trying very hard to launch a new website that was supposed to be ready in the middle of January, and it's driving me crazy because the development, I outsourced the development, and they are just so delayed. But yes.
Right. Okay. Is there anything we can do to help?
I think that's the most thing that people need to get used to in Portugal, and even for me as a Portuguese person that is generally accounting for delays, it's still extremely frustrating. It's just so the norm. Every time I need to do something in Portugal, it never is ready on time. It drives me nuts.
Yes. Yeah. Well, fair enough. We can say it's even driving a Portuguese person distraction, the delays on the new SavvyCat Realty website. Is the launch of the website also the launch of new services or things we can tell people about here?
Yeah, we are considering some new services, but they are not ready yet. So one of the things that I am currently studying is the possibility to have services specifically for development. So for people that are looking to make renovations or new constructions, but even if they don't buy with us, to have the possibility to have us assist during the process. But I haven't fully worked out the pricing and so on, because honestly, that is probably going to be fairly costly, because that is one of the most heavy works that we have. So it's a lot of work, to work with the renovations and work with, especially with licensings and so on. So
Mm.
it takes a lot of time, and it involves a lot of research. So that I'm still working out the details on that. But of course, it would be very good to understand the demand. I've had requests for that before, but of course, if anyone is thinking in that, I would love to get some feedback on the demand on the market for that service.
Okay, excellent. And they can reach out to you via the current website, presumably,
Yes.
and get in touch.
The URL will be the same once the new website is ready. It's just not
Yes.
ready.
Oh, and look, since we've been talking to you, which I think is probably for 2 or 3 years now, isn't it? Did you open your cool medieval bar, Savvy Cat? That was a
No, I
fantastic.
actually I passed down that business to a friend of mine, and the person who is currently running it's called she changed its name. It's called Caldeirão Lendário, and
Right.
she's doing fairs and has an online shop and that sort of thing. I'm not opposed to the idea of opening a bar, but I just been having my hands full with the Savvy Cat, so I just don't have the
Yeah,
energy
I
to
mean,
have a bar.
I don't think you can open a bar and not expect a little bit of extra work there. So yeah, definitely. Savvy Cat Bar sounds a good name for a bar as well. But okay, so maybe that's on the back burner, and your friend is taking care of business to a certain extent there. I always love to talk to you about, because you help people, scout locations, of course, and you suggest places to them that they might not otherwise be aware of in the
Yeah,
journey.
and I think that's a big thing, because a lot of people come, of course, many of them come and make a bigger exploration trip, like for 2 weeks and go a bit all over the country. But
Mm,
that does give you more of a superficial idea, and you can see some things, but they will always be so very superficial, and it's very different to talk to an actual local who will give you some input of how it is to actually live there.
yes.
And that's just the thing. People have different needs, and a lot of people, I think most people, when they have that initial idea, many of them think mostly of Porto and Lisbon, and many
Mm.
of them then don't even know of the other cities. And Portugal has so much to offer, and generally, when it comes to cost of life, you are much better off in other cities.
So come on, what's hot? What's hot right now? This is what I love to ask you: is where
Yeah,
are
I
these towns?
recently, like it was 2 weeks ago, we released a video on the 10 cheapest cities in Portugal. And I actually did some research before I released that video, and I was surprised that many of the suggestions, they aren't really cheap cities. Like a lot of articles were suggesting like Aveiro, Portimão,
Not cheap anymore. No way. I've heard
and
it's not
what
cheap.
was it, Santarém, and there was a bunch of cities, not Santarém, Setúbal. Santarém is still okay, but there were Caldas de Rainha. All of these cities are nice cities, but you cannot say they are cheap cities.
Not anymore. You can't. 2 years ago. So between you and me, then, where is what made the cut for your
Yeah,
search?
so the first one was Castelo Branco, which
Yep.
curiously have stayed on the one of the cheapest ones. Then we have Chaves, and I have that written down here somewhere, but I don't remember by
Send people
heart.
to the website. They can find that at the website, can't they? But that's interesting to hear. Castelo Branco is a
Yeah, and
fantastic.
we are probably going to, because many of these were just cities that I popped out of my head. Like I know that these cities are going to be affordable, but and then I just checked with our own system the current prices and so on, and put them in order. But I also just asked my team to make a more in-depth comparison, making like the 20 top cities, and make that in a blog post, so it's easy to compare. And we have the NMLS like system that we have access to,
Cool.
and just giving the averages of rent and buying costs, so people have kind of a comparison on that.
Very
But yeah, I was thinking here what else made the cut. I don't exactly remember, but
Well,
like
we've
I
got the
said, I
website
have a
address.
list
We've
of
run out of
websites.
time as well, Anna. Look, we've got busy
Yeah.
talking about politics, and we, we did manage to
There is
talk
a lot
about
of
your
things
webinar.
happening in politics.
Well, yeah. Savvy Cat Realties, I'm sure where people can get access to your list of cities that are worth looking at, which is always great information. So thank you very much for that. That's savvycatrealty.com, which will be replaced by a new website sometime. And
in the next month.
all right, the link for the webinar that's coming up in May as well. Let's talk about moving to Portugal. Absolutely free, and you can talk to Anna and team members on that webinar. That was the 7th of May. That's 4 p.m. Lisbon time, so New Yorkers will be able to watch that with their brunch at 11 a.m. and Los Angeles 8 a.m. So it's a breakfast show webinar about moving to Portugal in the company of Savvy Cat. Always great talking to you. Good to see you. It has felt like a long time, hasn't it? Thanks for your political update. Any nice plans for the weekend here in Portugal?
No, we have the eclipse, so I'm actually going to an event about the eclipse.
Are you? Is it a public event or is it a private?
No,
one?
it's a private thing.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of astrology related.
Right. Okay. So yes, from a Wiccan point of view, I guess it's pretty significant, isn't it? The eclipse on Monday. So enjoy that, Anna, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you so much for being here. All right. Take care. Bye for now. Great fun talking to Anna at savvycatrealty.com, as you can see from the link there. I'm going to go. It's 2 minutes past 10. I hope you have a great weekend. Bon fim de semana to you. Muito obrigado for watching, and we'll see you again on Monday. So, gumper dust on you. Have a good weekend. Take care, and bye for now. Where's me put the kettle on video? I moved it, and I can't find it now. That's the one I want to play for you. Here it is. Take care. Bye for now. Ciao, ciao. Até a próxima. Actually, Philomena went through the many ways of saying goodbye in Portuguese. Até a próxima. Até logo. And adios. Ciao, ciao.